Toronto versus Houston, 4:30 p.m. Saturday on GOLTV Canada. The match live from BMO Field with this man right here, Dan Dunleavy. Dan, Houston on a bit of a roll, 6-game unbeaten streak, 3 wins in a row. How are they getting it done?
Yeah, you term that a bit of a roll. I'd call that a pretty good roll. They've also allowed only 1 goal in their last 5 games against. So they filled the net over the last 3 games. They're feeling very confident playing in the new 4-3-3 system. And I think you really have to credit Dominic Kinnear for finding a system in which all of his forwards and his midfielders who are attacking midfielders can become involved in the play. And they've had a lot of confidence since that 3-3 draw against Toronto back at their new stadium, and they've carried that on. They had a real run of consecutive games against Eastern Conference opponents, and they made them count.
Now, Toronto, of course, adding a new designated player in Eric Hasley, and there's another one in Houston, too, Oscar Garcia, the Honduran footballer who's been part of this resurgent Houston attack that's now scoring a lot of goals and winning a lot of games. Talk a little bit about him, please.
Well, and Toronto fans are well aware of successful Honduran midfielders, aren't they, when you look back to what Amato used to do here. And now with Garcia and playing in this 4-3-3 system, from all accounts in what I've read and what I've been able to see in a short period of time, is that this really suits his style of play, and he's able to get involved, and it's been a seamless transition, as I say, from all accounts. But, you know, that happens too, Asif, because the players that he's working with are working with him, and they're not just expecting him to do everything. So it's been a nice addition to the club, and again, it's just helped bolster their confidence.
And a player that you and I both like quite a bit, probably the best player in the league for me, Brad Davis, that left foot. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, and here's a guy who was coming off a groin injury from last year, carried over into this year, then he suffered another injury, so he wasn't really healthy to start the season, and that certainly didn't help Houston. But he's healthy now, and he's showing it with his form. 6 assists in his last 8 games, 3 goals scored. He is, without a doubt, I agree with you, when this guy's healthy, he's probably the most dangerous player right now in MLS, and certainly he's proved it in the past recent years. So Toronto will have to contend with him, and we saw when Houston initiated that comeback back at their new stadium against Toronto FC, it was the usual suspects that were all involved in that build-up.
So it's Houston visiting Toronto at BMO Field on Saturday afternoon. Tune in to GOLTV Canada with Dan Dunleavy. Anybody with you in the booth up there?
I think I'll invite Thomas Rongen up for the game. Why not?
Yeah, Academy Director Thomas Rongen, who knows these parts.
Call, but
he knows these parts pretty well, doesn't he, over here at the Kia Training Ground. So look for that on GOLTV Canada. There'll be a pregame show as well. And on Toronto FC TV, we'll find out the status of Eric Hasley when the interviews roll in later on today. For Asif Hossain, Dan Dunleavy, asking you to use TFC Live on Twitter as the match starts, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on GOLTV Canada.